Hi there, welcome to the top 200 drug list for the classification of antiemetics, constipation, antidiarrheal, urinary, prostate, and diuretic drugs. These come from the top 200 drug list of most commonly prescribed and used drugs. If you find this helpful, please consider giving a like and subscribe at the bottom here. A quick reminder as we begin that the classification will be at the top of each slide, along with the brand name in the middle and the generic at the bottom. I do recommend pausing the video at certain intervals so that you might say these to yourselves a few times to get the memorization down. The first drug is Antivert, which is the brand name for meclizine, which is the generic, and it is an antiemetic. Here we have Phenergan, which is the brand name for promethazine, the generic, and it is an antiemetic. Next we have Reglan, which is the brand name for metoclopramide, which is the generic, and it is also an antiemetic. Next we have Zofran, which is the brand name for ondansetron, which is the generic, and it is an antiemetic. Next we have Miralax, which is the brand name for polyethylene glycol 3350, and this is used for constipation. Next we have Lomotil, which is the brand name for diphenoxylate atropine, and this is an antidiarrheal. Next we have Detrol LA, which is the brand name. Talturodine is the generic, and its classification is urinary. Next we have Flomax, which is the brand name for tamsulosin, the generic, and it is used for prostate disease. Next we have Proscar, which is the brand name, and finasteride is the generic, and it is used for prostate disease. Next we have Avodart, which is the brand name, didasteride, which is the generic, and its classification is prostate disease. Here we have Aldactone, which is the brand name for spironolactone, the generic, and it is a diuretic and it helps with blood pressure. Next, we have Diazide, which is the brand name for trimetyrene hydrochlorothiazide, which is the generic, and it is a diuretic. Next, we have Ezedrix, which is the brand name for hydrochlorothiazide, the generic, and it is also a diuretic. Lastly, we have Lasix, the brand name, for furosemide, the generic, which is probably the most common diuretic.